Okay, so I decided to make the first of many entries about this show, and this is the first one. So I'm just going to read from my little journal thing. It's not really a journal, and we'll see where it takes us. Okay, get comfortable with it. Okay, there are two main characters in this play, though every character contributes to the story's message in a major way. Nathan is a young boy who has lost the motor ability in his mouth, so he cannot speak. Because of the degenerative nature of his disease, Nathan's deteriorating health is a constant force and source of emotion in the play. He tries to communicate his thoughts. Um, Hold on, I lost my place. He tries to communicate his thoughts, both surface and deep, to the world around him by writing. Nathan uses everything from Dixie cups to the margins of magazines to explore his voiceless thoughts. Closest to Nathan is his mother, Marlinda. As a mother, friend, and caretaker, Marlinda is Nathan's lifeblood and sole means of survival and communication. Nathan is her top priority. We discover that Marlinda is in fact is struggling to maintain a job because of her dedication to Nathan. She covers her grief and fear of Nathan's death by constantly cleaning, feeding, and watching Nathan. She skips meals. She misses days of work. She mortgages the house. She hires a hospice worker, and she sorry, I'm trying to read my handwriting. And she is lost without the help of her elder friend Odetta. As if Nathan wasn't enough to handle emotionally and physically, Marlinda has another son, Bobby. Bobby has an extreme closeness to his baby brother, but since Nathan lost the ability to talk, Bobby has become a scarcity in the Price household. Bobby turns to alcohol and drugs to deal with his grief, and tries to obliterate his fear of Nathan's death. Bobby is doomed to end up like his father, a life lost to the wonders of alcohol poisoning and drug overdose. Nathan and Bobby's father died before Nathan was born, while he was in the womb. So the family has been struggling against the shadowy cloud of alcoholism for 16 years. Marlinda is an avid member of the local AA group where she met Odetta. Odetta is an elder woman who lives life to the fullest and approaches all problems with elegance and an open mind. Odetta is Marlinda's source of strength and her source of major medical advice concerning Nathan. Odetta is the one who talks Marlinda into employing a hospice worker. Odetta constantly tries to make Marlinda face the eventuality of Nathan's death, but Marlinda persists to ignore her. Rather than pursue a touchy subject, Odetta gives in to putting off her foresight until it is too late. Odetta inadvertently brings two new characters into the big picture, James and Maria Claire. James has just celebrated his first birthday in AA, because in AA they have these like birthdays, it's like anniversaries. Anyway, James has just celebrated his first birthday in AA, hold on, and is brought by Odetta as a new acquaintance for Marlinda to meet. Subvertly, Odetta plans to introduce James to Bobby in hopes that James will work on Bobby to address his addiction before it is too late. James is a very strong character who, by first impressions, certainly does not seem the type to be subvertly used for anything. He has an austere manner and is notorious for his talents in theater. However, he is competitive in nature and fears becoming attached to any close friends. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. However, his competitive nature and fears of becoming attached to any close friends make it hard for him to deal with personal issues sans guidance. Shortly after James arrives in the Price household, in tow of Odetta, Maria Claire shows up to meet Marlinda before her first day of work. By contrast, Maria Claire is a modest young woman, fresh out of school and ready. Hold on, I'm trying to read my handwriting. Oh, and ready to cure the world of its ailments. She has prepared, obviously, for her first meeting with Nathan. She has a tour de force of questions for Marlinda and is almost. Oh, sorry, and is adamant to see Nathan. Marlinda defers her until tomorrow because Nathan is resting and Marlinda insists on inviting the pair to stay for dinner with her and Odetta. So basically, Maria Claire has shown up in tow of James and just met Marlinda, and James and Maria Claire don't exactly get along very well because they're very different people. As Odetta and Marlinda leave to prepare for dinner, Maria Claire and James are left alone to become acquainted. As they find themselves more and more strikingly dissimilar, Marlinda enters to announce dinner is ready. As she ushers the two out, Marlinda is taken aback by urgent knocking at the front door, which turns out to be an old friend of Nathan's, Robert. Robert is the portrait of an impressionable youth. He is Nathan's age and acts twice as mature as any 17-year-old. He has a determined spirit but an air of unsure confidence. There is an obvious rivalry between James and Robert, or at least sorry. Or of at least an austere supremacy on James's part. I don't know what that means. Robert has entered the scene presumably to see Nathan, but soon reveals that in fact Bobby is drunk and planning to make a grand entrance. Before he can properly warn Marlinda, Bobby enters through an open window in the bathroom. Things have changed since I've wrote this, just so you know. Bobby is a sight to be seen when he enters. He is slightly wet from the rain outside and talks loudly, demanding to see his little brother. When he gets violently insistent, James takes Bobby by the shoulders and forces him into a chair in the kitchen. Marlinda is left to introduce Maria Claire to Robert, and Marlinda suggests that Maria Claire direct her questions about Nathan to Robert. Sorry, I'm reading my handwriting. While Marlinda and Odetta sober Bobby up, as Maria Claire barrages Robert with sterilized questions, Robert reveals the depth of his relationship with the Prices, especially Nathan. He alludes to a relationship with James, but is interrupted as James enters with Bobby over a shoulder. Marlinda heads off to Nathan's room. James agrees to stay in case Bobby gives any trouble, and Odetta instructs Maria Claire to come to the next morning to meet Nathan. Maria Claire then requests that Robert be with her, as he can see Nathan too. The lights dim. Okay, so this has changed a little bit since I wrote this, obviously. For one, I plan on the show starting in the kitchen. No one's on stage, and the only thing you see is Nathan's bedroom. In Nathan's bedroom, like, I've been trying to work on the set part of this whole thing, but I'm not a set person, I'm a costume person, and it's kind of difficult. Because, like, you have to have a set before you start the rest of the show, right? Whatever. So, mainly I was introducing all the characters to you. I really didn't flesh them out as much as I have them fleshed out in my mind. Like, Marlinda is just a basket case mother. She constantly worries about everything, like every other mother does. And I even wrote down, like, I have the obstacles and the means of overcoming the obstacles for every character and their objectives and stuff. Let me find hers. Shit. Oh, I put her objectives were, her objective is to keep Nathan, like, keep him in real time, and she's trying to, like, make memories of Nathan, and she's basically trying to make sure he doesn't die, which is kind of inevitable.